Hey, what's up guys? In this video I'm going to be going over kind of how I made the track 5 a.m. And it's kind of going to be a commentary. So yeah, 5 a.m. was a track that I made in 2015. The germ of the idea started then, and I made it when I first kind of moved, quote unquote, to Galliano Island. And it was made on my laptop. And it was just a simple germ of an idea. And how I went about making these tracks is I would make like a basic arrangement of all the sounds with basic stuff, and then I'd render out the stems, and then I'd bring them back a little bit later, and I'd remix them, and then I'd continuously bounce and then remix, and it's kind of the concept of the whole thing is like it's basically like me remixing myself over and over and over again and adding ideas and stuff like that, and it got a pretty interesting result. So yeah, the idea of 5 a.m. is the things that happen at raves at 5 a.m. and the energy of the music that kind of plays. You got to keep people going nuts, and the triplet kind of action of this track, the bass and the synth sounds, is just, it kind of reminds me of like a marching beast that kind of goes along, and I like tracks that have triplets, especially the bass. So yeah, this is the germ of the idea. I made it on Galliano. I didn't make it at 5 a.m. though. I made it during the day. But yeah, when I first moved to Galliano, this is when I started this. So let's start off with the beginning. So this sound, I described this as a chirp, and I wanted this to kind of build up in a way. So check this out. Right, so this is an interesting sort of thing. It's just not a whole lot of automation, just filter cutoff, no EQ. I'm going to do that later. And it's just pulse width modulation trench and a little a sine wave that's bent, that is frequency modulating. And yeah, the triplet action is actually done in the LFO. So it's set to 16 triplets, and it's kind of like this. And the reverb is automated. The wet mix is modulated by LFO too. So you get like kind of like this interesting movement. Right, and this is kind of the hint of the idea of what's to come, which is pretty scary. This, if I remember correctly, it's a Spire patch, yeah. LD Tech Lead, so you can copy it if you wish. I think it's one of the default ones. It's kind of just a bouncy thing that goes along the other one here. So yeah, they're kind of talking to each other, and I thought this was pretty cool. And then I added the big guns a little bit later. What's going on here? Oh yeah, I like to do frequency sweeps and stuff with kicks and things like that, and some modulation. I use neutron here. What's going on here? Is this even gonna open? Yeah. So yeah, equalizer, compressor. So that's all well and good. So here's the bass. Right, just auto filter, LFO rate, and how do I make this one? Yeah, so yeah, it's just two saws essentially, distortion, bandpass distortion, drive. Feel free to copy, I don't care, and the multiband compressor. Multiband compressor really adds a lot, actually. And the distortion is automated by the 16th triplet. So there's no MIDI going on here. It's all in the LFO, which I then modulate a little bit later. So here's what it kind of sounds like during the drop, or whatever you want to call it. The Spire patch, the release opens up. That's all that kind of happens. The envelope release, and it's compressed to all hell, just basically. Right, and it's the Vengeance Essential Club Sounds Kick 81 for those that want to follow me at home. And this is how I EQ my kicks, and I added neutron as well. I don't have a whole lot on there. I was just analyzing it. I don't really know. And the clap, I love this clap. This clap actually. And then I have them grouped into the effect rack with a compressor for automation of sound. And yeah. Then I have this little stab here. That's from the David Parkinson's sound pack. Really good sound pack for trance and stuff. Oh, and I have like a low end sub bass here. And the sub bass with the Serum main meat of the track. And LFO tool is doing its thing on both of them. And yeah, this is the basic germ of the track here. Right, and I did some automation. LFO rate. Did I? Yes, I did. So I just drew in some automation, rough stuff, because I knew I was going to bounce all this out and then alter it in the other version that you'll see. So it goes from like dotted, it goes from triplet to dotted to like regular time intervals. It's pretty neat. And it's just, I was just fooling around. It's at a time, it doesn't really work, but I knew that it would, if I could change it around and stuff like that. And it's kind of akin to taking like a modular synth that's doing this and just recording a bunch of weird stuff to audio and then altering it afterwards. Yeah, that part in particular is pretty cool. And it's really cool because there's these things that are unintended. And it's like that little guitar feedback sound. I don't know what it is or what caused it. It's caused by the distortion. But it did something really neat. It does that, and you can't predict these things, and I was like, I'm going to keep that. That's pretty cool. So then it goes and it kind of builds again. Right. And these risers are from, the usual suspects, Vengeance. Didn't even do anything to this. And all of that. And then this cool stab. Oh. And that's from Fancy Fair, for those wondering. It's a classic sound. And I was giving stuff to that. Who's knocking? Nope, no one's knocking. Okay. That was a weird knock. So, yeah, that is the first iteration. And it kind of just ends. And that. So I rendered all that out. I removed the LFO tool and stuff like that because you don't want that in there. So I rendered it out into stems, and then I kind of brought it in and added more stuff to it and chopped the hell out of it to my taste in the newest version of Ableton, and this is called 5 a.m. Final. So, and there's also, I added some other stuff. Let's see, I gotta put that in there because I rendered it without. So yeah, I put this little reverse thing in here, just added a bunch of effects. And this little chirp, I called the chirp. And I added another chirp. Oh yeah, no, that's the same one. And I put those together into a reverb channel. to add more attention for the build, things like that. And then here's the lead. Clap and bass, took things out, added some things. That's the basic stuff right there. Added more effects. So yeah, oh, what's up here? Okay, so added a click and pop. This click here is basically a ghost track. And what this does is triggering the compressor, sidechain compressor on various elements. So let's kind of go through it. It's the basic, basically the same idea, the breakdown I added from another track, and it worked for me, but we'll get there when we get there. Right, we got stuff like that, but then we have like the remix aspect of this, and this is a really interesting technique that I employed, and here's what it sounds like. Right, and this, I just chopped it up, added a ride signal because that's what you do these days. And yeah, stretch this last part here because I like that little guitar distortion-y thing. Then I added a little bit of a breakdown, and yeah, it's a whole bunch of stuff. Kind of an idea that I had way back in the day that I've always wanted to use. Using the latest and greatest in technology, an IT preset of BPS Avenger. All right, so there's a bunch of layers here. Let's kind of look at all of them. So it's in A flat minor, which isn't 5 a.m., but kind of works. Right, basic 8th notes, and then we got just a bass line. Certain bass line. It's not even a bass line, it's just a sub bass. And what is it? It's just a basic saw wave and a filter. Someone's playing Rocket League. Really? Steam? Really? I thought I told you not to. Whatever. And down here, another layer. So all this stuff is grouped. What's going on in the group? We got an echo, the auto filter, filter and filter with delay. Pretty simple. And what we got here? And then we got explosions. Obviously, you need explosions. And then reverse stuff. This VPS Avenger. Something basic, and it's just a. What's going on here? It's just some vibration-y stuff. Nothing too insane. I made that. It's just a simple saw. And what's this one? This is Piano V. I think it's the default piano sound. Just as a layer. This one right here. This is the one that's like above everything. And this one is also another init preset, simple saw. equalizer, nothing going on there. Gated reverb, which is, very EDM-y. And then some multi-band distortion to kind of bring up and give us that feel of just a lot going on the high end. And 7 voices detuned. I'll give you an example of that. And the noise. Noise is also very important. Always add noise to your trancey leads. And that's the basic breakdown. Nothing too insane. And then it kind of goes into like this kind of interesting hypnotic-y build that unsettles you. And that's kind of what I was going for, and added some snares. And the snares kind of talk to the bass lead, or the main lead. And I wanted the second part, the last part of the track, to be very different, and not different, but like I wanted to have a different energy and a different kind of vibe. Instead of just copying it over, I wanted to be a bit more glitchy and aggressive. Just a weird, like, where everything's falling apart, and it's like things are glitching out, and it's like the sound system's about to freaking blow up and catch on fire. It's like one of those kind of things, and like nothing makes sense. And I liked it. I don't know why, and I still kind of like it. And I added this little offbeat snare here, a la Fred Baker. And it adds just another little chaos kind of thing. Yeah, and then it kind of goes into the thing, and then you mix it out. Yeah, and it's just a whole lot of chopping and just experimentation. And yeah, there you have it. That's the basic rundown on how I made that, and it's just one of those things. And this is kind of what it looks like. What else? Yeah, that's basically it. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you learned stuff. Take care and have a good one.